somebody asked me to perhaps bring forward the remembrance of one of our brotherhood that has passed away very recently and wanted to be here tonight. His daughter commented that, you know, Dad was really looking forward to this occasion, which I think we all did. That's why we're here. The person we're talking about, I think you would know. Yeah, it's Gary Green. I was one of the fortunate ones that got to work a little bit with Gary. Quite a professional. He actually went on to work for another company later where he stepped out of the Sundowners uniform and then he became the professional tour guide around Europe. But I think to know him was to really like the man. And I just, without going on too much, is to say we have lost other people beforehand, but tonight isn't about backtracking 50 years. It's perhaps worthwhile just remembering those that we didn't get to see at the reunion tonight that have passed obviously since the last reunion. Having said that, could you please stand in charge, raise your glasses and let's give a toast to the old Buddha. To Buddha.
To Buddha.
So I started in 73, finished in 76, paid half of a trip for the Sunseeker film trip. They didn't have enough people for the 29-seater coach to go to North Africa. And I think half of the people on board paid half of the cost of the trip just to become part of the crew. Change the bearings and get back to bearing. That particular coach, I noticed the other was forgotten, was the coach in the Cossack, but it's got a different registration number. It's supposed to be on that car.
So we've got 2 tyres to be repaired, with the passengers outside and transported these 2 wheels to get them repaired. When they pulled the last tyre apart, inside it was a tube spanner and a bar for operating the tube spanner.
Does Ron know about this?
Probably not. And then there was an engine mount blew on the way back. We got to Peshawar and...
Thanks, Ed. That was great. And you tell young kids today, and they won't believe you. Surrounded by a plethora of talented people, we have yet somebody else who'd like to come up and share his story. Welcome up here, Darcy Waller!
This bastard made me an offer I couldn't refuse. Thanks, Vicar. This story is not about me. But before I start anything, I'd like Colin Robert Schofield to stand up, please. Get up, stand up.
Grandfather of the year.
Those who don't know him, Colin has just become the grandfather of
Mary, Nora,
and Poppy. I certainly hope that none of those girls turn out to look like their grandfather. But I certainly hope that they have the disposition of a good bloke. Good on you, Colin. I'll have it to his mate when you know. Again for 7 nights. No stories, straight to bed, I think it is, right? Yeah. Not quite in that order, but anyway, but there was no, sorry Sandra, there was no straight to bed.
and they said,
Make your own way.
Nope.
Make it up 7 nights. The border, and my next problem was, what do I do now? So after we got through the border, we then had to go and find some bus or a coach or a bus to get us to Baranassa. And that was there where I first learnt the grounding for my later career as a union official by negotiating with Gupta and these boys to get a bus. And whatever happened there, we got the bus and off we went on a horror ride into Varanasi because he couldn't drive, could he? If you remember.
Now, it was people on the roof that got out.
Yeah, the people on the roof gave us the shits. We got into Varanasi, turned up there, and the very first words out of Dave Banerjee's mouth, yes, was, "You realise that the ice cream has melted." And he was up to me about the ice cream melting. And I put up with that for a while and got everyone checked in, and soon I went in and thought, well, I'm a courier here, I should get a free beer or something. And I did. And he's into me again about the ice cream. And he... total faith in days later. And it stood for "May all vehicles include spares." And there's some good photos around it. But my experience from there on is, and there are two things that come out of that. But if you work together as a team, things will go well. And from there, I think the people on that trip, and there's been a couple of reunions since, really enjoyed the time and the trip. And then halfway, somewhere, I'm not sure, Kit got an infected leg. He had a few days off, and Vicar and I went down to Persepolis, which was a long drive, and we worked it out. You turn right out of the hotel and keep going, and you've got to find it somewhere. It's down there somewhere.
Yeah, I know there's plenty of stories around. There's plenty of people who like to tell them. Maybe you can have your turn next time around. So put your name on the list, and we'll see how we go from there. All right, before we perhaps break for dessert, which I believe is coming out relatively soon, we'll get another perspective from a different point of view about what happened in Sundowners. This time, make her very welcome, Ginny Snedden!
Even though I work with Sundowners. I think probably one of my first memories of, or one of my best memories, I guess, of Sundowners was working with Bill Boundy on the brochure for 77.
Yeah, Bill Boundy.
And he was writing, some spiel, and he says to me, "How would you describe 139 Finborough Road?" And I said, "A whorehouse." Probably my most embarrassing story, which I'll finish with, was there was a lot of people at the King's Head, surprise, surprise, and all these people kept talking about a person called Mrs. Palmer. And I had no idea, being the naive 20-year-old that I was when I arrived, I had no idea what they were talking about. So in my usual way, I said, "Who the hell is Mrs. Palmer?" Ken Phelan, who was a charming man, did take me to one side and explain to me about, with hand signals and everything, about Mrs. Palmer and her 5 daughters. My face must have been a picture because the whole place erupted in laughter.
Thank you. I think a few of us have spent a night or 3 or something like that in Hallbag House along the way. You're going to celebrate a bit later. Fixed. So to lift the evening even higher, prepare yourself for none other than Camford!
The first trip to the Sundowners in 1964, and it was a real rough trip at right times. The only other surviving member that's here tonight is Ted White. So stand up, Ted. Or put your hand up there. There he is. We encountered minor roadworks on the way, and we finally found a place on the Indus River with a little dirt peninsula leading out into the river itself. So we had to drive the van out on this to pick up the boat, and we were stopped by a truck full of sacks to catch a ferry. So what we had to do was to unload the truck, and that's been the foreground, and there's Ted taking another bag out of the truck. not far into Persia, we stopped off at some little thermal wells. There's a bubbling up out of nowhere into a troughs with local camel caravans that passed by. It was a really hot trough, then flowed down to a cooler trough, and then down to off to the desert, with cooler water down to the camels. So we all stopped, it was dusk, and we all stripped off and hopped into a hot tank in the middle of nowhere, and had a luxurious hot bath, and then cleaned itself out, and the next person hopped in and had a soapy hot bath. It was so good.
Terrific, thank you for that. Gee, I look at that story there that he was just shown by the way of the slides, and we think perhaps people who travel nowadays have got it too easy. I think even our era that did it, obviously some years after you, we had it so easy compared to what you guys had to struggle through, and it was unbroken ground for you when you went that way as well. Yeah, exactly. We do have, I think, enough time to hear from Greg Marks, or best known as God.
I've been in jail once in my life, and that was in a place called Aqaba, which we all know about. And Ken Boy's been in jail, and Mick Powell's been in jail, and there's probably a few others. There's been, a lot of us, a lot of us have been in jail. But I obviously tell this story to my kids. I've told it to a lot of you recently, because he's really good at this. You know, when somebody, Tito, I didn't find out about it until I left. By the time we got to where the Tigris and the Euphrates come together, this girl came up and told me about it, and I was really pissed off that this had happened, because this guy had actually used my name and said, I know Greg, and that's how he tricked her into going with him and that sort of thing. So I was really pissed off. So anyway, I go to Kathmandu. We broke down. There's a few other things that happened. I leave Kathmandu with Carl Capstick, or I left with Carl, and he drove me to Kabul. Rocky was with me in Kabul, and we put all our passengers on a plane, flew into Istanbul, and I picked Merv up. And I said to Merv, Merv, hi, I haven't met you before, how's it going? Keep nodding. You are nodding. Keep staying close, you're not. The number of balance, and next thing, one of these guys in the disco comes up, so, hi Greg, I had a great night last night, had a really good time. I said, yeah, it was. I said, by the way, I didn't see Tito, is he around? Oh, yeah, he's around, he's getting married. I said, I'd love to catch up with him. So anyway, I couldn't believe it. 5 minutes later, this car screams to a halt. Tito jumps out of the car, walks up to the front step of the bus, and I'm just stepping down the bus, and I am left-handed. And as I stepped on the bottom step, I've gone Mac. Hitting once, knocked out a few teeth. Giving him a kick, it feels really good. Big problem. At this stage, we go into this courtroom. Cash the food, Kitty. I want, if I can, I'll buy my way out of this. So so he's got a cash on that $6,000 or whatever US dollars. Your pockets full of it. We go into this courtroom, and there's probably 40 Arabs in this courtroom. All this. I was big news. And this judge is there, and the only guy that spoke good English was the guy I'd hit. So the judge gets there, and he gets there with his anvil, and he says, and he spoke bits of English. He says, you do this? I said, yes. Are you sorry for what you did? Yes, I am. Your Tito was a good man? I said, yes, he is. And I'm really sorry. So next thing, the rabble on a bit of Arabic. I jump in a jeep with Tito and 2 soldiers, and we go to the doctors. The doctor, Tito was a good man? I said, yes. Next thing, he changed the doctor's certificate he had 3 months off work. So he gave me a doctor's certificate, gives it to them, goes back to the court and sits in front of the judge, and the judge says, Tito was a good man. I said, yes. And he says, I'm going, God, what's going to happen here? Next thing, he gets his little hammer and he goes, 300 fills, which it was in those days was about 50 US cents. And I said, I turned to Merv, I said, Merv, no. I said, have you got any change? So we pay the 300 fills, and I'm sort of out of jail. And then we're walking to out the door, and Tito's with us, and Tito says to me, you're a very lucky man. I said, no, Tito. I said, you're the lucky man. If I'd known how cheap it was, I would have hit you twice.
That's actually a very good rendition. It was very close. I thought it was equivalent to about $5 was the fine, but it was slightly embellished, on the lesser degree there. But no, it was quite an experience and tremendous trouble. Yeah. So a true story that he told. True story.
Your memory's better than you think. And I have you want to say something?
Yeah, I need to say something. He got me up for a reason.
Being a politician.
Coming out of Russia, breakdown. We all have breakdowns, but this bus broke down just before the border. I had to leave Greg. Looking at Ron here.
You're embarrassing again.
Telling this story, you probably don't know about it. But the coach breaks down. We were just on our way out of Russia. We didn't have one. By this stage, they'd taken us to the road border, and we didn't have one. So I had the suitcase with me. Put it down. Got the passengers, all 6 of us sitting, and I was sitting in the front, going broom, broom, broom. In the meantime, these guards were wetting themselves behind there. The next car pulled up, put 3 more in, told them to take us through to the rail station, and we reboarded another train and met all the passengers through at the next destination. So it was a bit of a hairy run. Thanks, Greg.
If you want to come up and say a couple of words.
Yeah, sure. Very much, everyone. It's great to see you all here, all the drivers, couriers, and office swallows. So, great to see you all, and it's just get people along like Cam, who was on the first trip, and Ted. And Ted, of course, became a director of the company after that, but and to hear all those great stories, and so a lot of them I haven't heard about. But there was one, Ed mentioned, he was happy. The passengers were happy. But yeah, thanks everybody, and good to see you all here, and we'll be back here in 2 years' time for the new reunion, another reunion. Okay. Thanks a lot. It's been a great time, and we've all had a lot of fun catching up, a lot of stories, and we'll carry on.